Hey everybody, Chef Vince here coming from Pritikin in Miami, Florida. Today, Kara and I are going to show you how to make a nice spinach and ricotta whole wheat crepe. Onions and garlic, peppers, carrots, saute that down with some spinach, roll it up in a homemade whole wheat crepe. Stay tuned. We're going to keep the calories down, the flavor up.
Better is better. Progress is progress.
Thanks for joining us today, folks. My name is Vince. This is Kara. Today, we're going to make a spinach and ricotta crepe, and we're going to show you how to do that. Let's get to it.
All right, I'm super excited about this, Chef, because I think a lot of times when people think of the word crepe, they don't necessarily associate it with healthy. So
most of the
let's
time
see how we're making it healthy today.
So what we're going to do here is, first and foremost, I'm going to use that flour that I had just grabbed. It's a white whole wheat flour. If you're used to using flour, most people are probably going to use an all-purpose white flour. And if you want to be super healthy, you can certainly use a whole wheat flour. This is a good compromise. It's called white whole wheat. And it's a little more milder than using whole wheat, but it's still just as healthy. I'm sure Kara touched on that.
It has the whole grain attached to it. So it has the germ, the endosperm, and the bran, which is what we want. Usually when you use that white flour, all you're left with is the endosperm, which is none of the nutritional value. So it is 100% whole wheat, but yeah, they just kind of sift it, I think, a little bit more and make it more soft.
Correct. It's a nice product to use, and King Arthur is the one that we're using here. How about the avocado oil? Could you pass me that? So,
there you go.
This is a dietitian mist there. You see how hot the pan is, and I intentionally have that pan nice and preheated. So as soon as I put that onion into there, I'm covering it. The steam, the moisture trying to escape from the onion has nowhere to go except hitting the top and falling back down into there. So we're sauteing those onions down in just that natural liquid that's coming out of them.
So you don't need a lot of oil, number one, right?
You can already see them starting to brown initially right off the bat. So we're going to take a little bit of these red bell peppers.
He's going fast. And one thing I wanted to mention about the oil that you're using, Chef, is it's a great oil for high heat, because many high heat oils are highly refined, but avocado oil isn't. So it is one of my top recommendations when I'm talking to our guests about roasting their vegetables or using any sort of high heat oil. Exactly.
I like to use canola or avocado for high heat, but avocado is a healthier version of an oil.
Less refined. Absolutely.
So we add a little bit of water in here to help speed this up. Just add a little dash of water. This will create a little additional steam here. You can see what we're doing actually.
You can also get a facial while you're at it, right?
It's a multi-purpose here. So some people ask me, Chef, why do I have to peel the carrots? Do I have to, because you'll see me peeling the carrots. I think you don't have to peel the carrots, right? Like, especially what you're doing it for. Something like this, you would never even know that if you peel the carrot or not. So what I'm doing is, it looks like I'm peeling the carrot, but I'm using a little tool here called a julienne peeler. So it kind of rips these little strips of carrots right off.
Nice.
And we did use to peel, just keep it easy, right? So
I buy them like that.
Already julienne, shredded up.
Yes, I do.
So I have this preheating out of 20. This is on about 11 was on. I'm going to lower it just a little bit because we're getting a little amount of heat coming from there. We'll add this carrot into here and add whatever sort of vegetable combination you want. Onions, peppers give you a good amount of flavor. We'll add a little bit of garlic into here. Once we add that carrot, this is just some minced garlic. We don't buy it pre-minced, but we do buy it pre-peeled, right? Put it into the food processor. 1, 2, 3. You got some minced garlic.
Easy, quick.
All right, so saute these vegetables down.
Smelling really, really good. And I love all the colors you're using in there, Chef. But the point is, it really doesn't matter what vegetables you used. You just kind of use what you have on hand in your house.
I would suggest putting onions and garlic to start, right? And then kind of building off of there. I think peppers takes us in a nice direction, but bulking it up with some carrots, maybe putting some chopped up parsnips into there. There's lots of the kind of various
and I think honestly, anything should start out with onions and garlic, because they come from this family. They're called the allium family. And they're great actual prebiotic foods. So they're super great for the gut. And they also give some great flavor, and we don't need to use any salt. So we're loading up
loading up the spinach in here. We have some fresh spinach that we just went ahead and chopped up fine. This way it's not these big leaves when we mix it in with the ricotta.
And you can put a ton of that, right, Chef? Because it really wilts down a lot. So,
it looks like there's a lot here now.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Don't be shy.
Yeah.
Don't be shy in how much spinach you're adding.
Absolutely. This is a little bit of a Mrs. Dash seasoning. And what I like to do is grind it up to a powder.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay. It's already starting to go down.
So as soon as you put that lid over there, it's going to start wilting down the spinach. You can see how fast that happens. We're making a little bit of a mess, cleaning as we go here. Okay, so this will cook down just a tad bit more. We'll go ahead and give that a quick stir. Ideally, you would let this cool down before you actually go ahead and fold in the ricotta. This is just about where I want to take it to. We use a heat-proof bowl here that won't conduct the heat, but it's okay to put something hot in here. You know, if you're using stainless steel, it's only going to keep it, you know, intensified of that heat. So let that start cooling down so we can fold in our ricotta. So here's our filling, basically this. We'll add some ricotta cheese into this. You may even want to add a little dash of Parmesan cheese.
Little dash, but let's talk a little bit about ricotta and how versatile it is and how many things you can use it in. And I know one of the things that comes up a lot when we talk about dairy type of foods is that dairy is often associated with inflammatory. And dairy, especially cheese, tends to be very high in sodium. But one thing you'll find out about ricotta, it is a very low sodium food. And you can also get it part skim, so it's low fat. So it's a great filler for things like crepes, or if you want to put it in your pasta or something like that. You don't need to worry about the fat or the salt because it's not in there. So it's a great filler as opposed to using like a shredded cheese or something like that. That would be a lot more salty.
Absolutely, I agree.
I'm glad you agree with me, Chef.
So I'm going to add this Parmesan cheese. We'll stir this up, and there's our filling ready to get rolled into the crepe.
And I think that took all of like 3 or 4 minutes. So
we don't need to make the crepe.
If you don't have, but this whole filling, it looks like it would take a lot longer, but it's super quick. Here at the Pritikin Center, it's like rainbows and unicorns. All you gotta do is show up and everything is planned and prepared for you. But when you get home, get ready for those lions and tigers and bears. Whether you're racing out the door to work and skipping breakfast, or glued to the Zoom call and no time for lunch, or maybe you're in retirement and every day is a holiday. The solution? You need a plan. My name is Kara. I've been a registered dietitian for over 20 years, and I've helped thousands of clients create sustainable plans that stick. At the Pritikin Center, we offer a one-to-one remote nutrition coaching program with me. Together, we will create a customized plan that addresses your lifestyle, your health markers, and any of those derailers that lead you astray. Support and accountability can be the difference between finding success and constantly chasing after it. Sign up today for more information about Pritikin at Home Concierge Nutrition Program. Are we good for next week? Are you same time, 2 o'clock next Wednesday? That work for you?
It's super great. You can put this in like a portobello mushroom if you wanted to, sear that off, and then stuff that in a portobello cap or just a small mushroom cap as well. You have lots of different kind of.
I actually would also put that in like a sweet potato or a baked potato, like stuff it up a little bit. That would be really good too. So you can make extra of this, guys, and then you can use it for multiple purposes.
I like it. So a cup of skim milk goes into here. We'll use a little dash of egg beaters. The egg beaters work a little better than egg whites, even though they are basically egg whites, because they have a little xanthan gum in there, so that thickness really helps it out. Could you open that flour for me?
I can.
So this is keeping it very simple. Now I could add spices into this crepe. I could put like crushed red pepper into here. I think, you know what? I said it, let's do it. Could you grab me the crushed red pepper, Kara, right there?
This one?
That's this one here.
Okay. They look the same, Chef.
That one was bell pepper, actually.
Okay.
Similar, but. All right, so we'll put a little flour. Whoop, a lot of flour.
Well, when you're a chef, you can eyeball it. But if you're not a chef, how much of flour would you add?
Well, I have the actual recipe here, but what I'm looking for is a certain thickness here, right? So I can always adjust it a little bit by adding a little tiny dash more milk or eggs.
You just want a good consistency.
I'm looking for a little thick, but not anywhere near like pancake thick. It should still be runny.
So
kind of what I have here, almost like a cornstarch slurry, where it's a little thick, but not too thick. Like that's perfect right there. Okay. So I'd say I put about maybe about a cup of flour, right? Just kind of eyeballing it.
Whole wheat flour.
White whole wheat flour.
White whole wheat flour. Okay.
So we'll give this pan a quick little mist of spray here. That looks a little too hot, right? But what I can always do is I can always cool a hot pan down faster than heating up a cold pan. So I want it to be hot, but if the crepe starts bubbling up, then it's going to be kind of just burning it. So you want it to
thin, yeah, super thin.
So a little bit of cooking spray. So you see what happens here? It kind of bubbled up too quickly.
Yeah,
that
it's too
pan,
hot.
it's still too hot, right? So, but it'll firm up instantly. But that's kind of just kind of playing around with it. You'll see that the pan will get too hot, and it'll start cooking like that. So what we can do is probably put a little tiny dash more milk in here, just to get it a little thinner. I don't want it to be thick. And I can just kind of discard that one as the little tester, and then we can go for the next one and show you exactly kind of what we're looking for here.
Okay.
So I'll just use my hand here because it's going to be.
Because your hands are like oven mitts, right, Chef?
Use a rubber spatula.
After all the years of cooking, your hands become oven mitts.
I would say so. So you get some heat here, but it's not still bubbling up. I guess we're still learning with these induction burners here how much heat is actually
These things get crazy hot super fast.
So I had an only one about a 3 out of 20 and was still putting that heat out. So you still get little bubbles here, but that's fine. If you get a little holes, but what you're looking for is more smooth crepe, and you'll get that on that kind of sweet spot where it's really like a low heat, but a consistent low heat. So let it start pulling away from the pan a little bit, and you can flip it over. You can cook the other side for just a moment, and it's done. You roll it up into the crepe, and we're ready to go, or roll it up into the filling in there, and we're ready to go. So I'll show you right now.
Super simple. A great quick and easy meal that seems like you would get it at a restaurant, but you actually can make it within like 10 minutes or so at home.
Exactly. And you can make these crepes ahead of time as well. So
how do they freeze?
They freeze okay.
Not great.
Yeah, they're just okay, I'd say.
Okay.
So we flip the other side over. We'll sear off the other side real quickly.
Gets a little brown on there.
Yep. And again, you don't have to use your hands. Just use a rubber spatula, kind of get it under there. That's definitely a safer way to do it. But you see there's kind of a little bit of holes that you get. That's when the pan's just a little too hot, right? So you're just kind of playing around with it and getting it to where you want it to be.
Right. And what I love about the crepe, Chef, also is that it's so paper thin.
Yeah.
So when we're trying to watch, our carbohydrates, if we have any sort of insulin resistance or prediabetes going on, this is certainly going to work for people with that, because the amount of actual carbohydrate in there is extremely low, but it's a really nice filling it's a really nice vessel for your filling.
Yeah.
That's not going to cost you a lot of carbohydrates or a lot of calories.
Correct.
And
I agree.
super simple
I like to call this almost like a manicotti, but like our spinach crepe manicotti almost, because it kind of looks like a manicotti.
It does.
Just without using pasta. We'll just cut this one
You're
open here.
not using cream.
Kind of giving you an idea. So if
I
you
have a question for you, Chef.
Yes?
How do you think that would work with something like an oat flour as opposed to a wheat flour?
I think it would work good. And it would work good to add more, spices in here, right? We actually was talked about adding crushed pepper, then we never did.
And then we never did. That was my bad.
But we also brought some fresh basil and parsley. We didn't even put it into the ricotta. But you could always add more things in there, make it more flavorful, make it more spiced up and jazzed up into your own liking. So, folks, enjoy the crepe. Whatever you're doing at your house, take care. Folks, if you like this video and you want to see another cooking demonstration, click here. If you want to listen to our podcast, click here.